Hello, I'm Delusion Dispeller, and I promised that I would make a video series about intermittent fasting because that is how I lost quite a bit of weight, actually about 17 pounds since March, and we are in August, so April, May, June, July, about 5 months. So it didn't happen overnight, no, but it did happen, and it is happening because I'm still working at it. And I wanted to share what my method is and some of the strategies behind it and the information behind it, just to kind of give you all a blueprint for how to do this. Now, I posted some notes here, so I'll be looking up occasionally to see what I wrote. I know a lot of people have said to me, wow, you're amazing, you got all that memorized. No, I've never memorized, I don't think, anything that I've said, but I do ad lib. I try to make it conversational so it doesn't seem, so robotic, I guess you could say. Alright, so the first thing we need to talk about is your intent. In order to accomplish any goal, you have to have a reason why you are wanting to accomplish the goal. What is your intention or your intent of losing the weight, of doing the intermittent fasting? So you're asking yourself, why am I going for these mini goals and my ultimate goal? So you want to have little goals to begin with, whether it's weekly or monthly for you. I do both. I decided that in this case more was better. Sometimes less is best, but sometimes more is better because you get a broader range to work with. You're not putting as much pressure on yourself as you would if you just said, well, in a year I'm going to weigh whatever. I've tried that. It does not work for me. So I figured if I could accomplish little teeny goals and reward myself along the way, I would do better at losing the weight. And voila, I was right. So your intent is why you are going for these mini goals and your ultimate goal. The next thing you want to ask yourself is when. When are you going to reach your first mini goal, and then your next mini goal, etc.? When are you going to reach your ultimate goal, that end goal where you want to be at your ideal weight, or whatever your goal is? You may not even be using this for weight loss. Whatever, you need to set little tiny goals each week, each month, and then a big goal long term. So it's kind of like those questionnaires when you fill out a job application. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Where do you see yourself 10 years from now? Or 20 years from now? Well, you're not setting it for years ahead because it's not necessarily going to take you years and years to lose the weight, believe it or not. It's really not. Some people may set a year goal. Some people may say, well, I've got like hundreds of pounds to lose. I may as well set it a few years ahead. Whatever works for you. Just decide when you're going to get to that goal. And that's what you want to record in your notebook. I forgot to tell you, you need to get a notebook and journal. Write. I'm not big on writing down every food you eat. If you feel like maybe you're eating foods that could be inhibiting weight loss, then write them down and, just gradually pull away from eating so much of those foods. But I'm not big on writing down calories, writing down macros, like, carbs, proteins, whatever. You can do all that recording if you want. I like to write when it's fun. So I make things really simple and don't stress myself out over the writing. Although I do love to write, there's certain things that I can't be bothered with. Okay. The next thing you want to look at is your expectation. How long should it take you to lose the pounds, to lose the inches? I reasonably set myself at losing, I figured they say 2 pounds a week is safe to lose, but I decided to just make it really easy on myself so that I could really celebrate if I had even a teeny tiny little weight loss, and I decided to go with 1 pound per week. Now, how I did this was I took a calendar and I wrote down my weight starting, and then each week I would write, of course, one weight amount less than that. So I started at 214. I would go, say if I started on the 7th, the 14th would be 213, the 21st would be 212, the 28th would be 211, and I would write it in the corner of the calendar. So that would be what I was aiming for that 1 pound a week weight loss. All right. Then you have to decide how often will you measure? How often are you going to weigh yourself? I weigh myself once a week. I feel that that's normal and reasonable because your weight is going to fluctuate not only daily but throughout the day, and that can discourage you really quickly. So I do it weekly because I know during the week I'm going to have some days where I eat more, and then there's going to be days where I hardly eat anything. And I figured that kind of gives me an average weight loss by the end of that week. It's just my opinion, my viewpoint on it. So I weigh myself and measure myself once a week. Now, what strategy are you going to use? What method are you using to lose the weight? I'm using intermittent fasting because that is the only thing that has helped me not only lose the weight but keep it off along the way. And I think that's where we get discouraged, is we lose it, but then we start seeing the pounds creep on, and then we're like, oh, forget this, the heck with it, I'm not even going to try because I just lost 10 pounds and gained back 5 of it. So that's why you set yourself little tiny goals, but it's also why I decided to use intermittent fasting, because it's working. I'm automatically eating the right amount of calories for me. I try to, judge that a little bit. I don't purposely go out and eat half of a cake or something, I eat reasonably. But I'm accomplishing those goals, and I'm doing it in a healthy way because I'm giving my body during the fasting time to assimilate, absorb, digest, and apply those calories where they need to be applied in my body. It allows the body to rest. I kind of listed some of the pros of intermittent fasting on my other videos, so you might want to watch those videos again if you haven't already watched them. By the way, if you see my eyes going up and down, it's because I have bifocals, and they drive me nuts because I'll look down here to see the words really clearly, and I'm like, oh, that's perfect. But then I look like I'm looking up like that, but down through my glasses. And then I tip my head down and everything's blurry again. So it's kind of tricky to wear bifocals. So if you see me looking kind of a weird direction, that's why. Alright, next, ask yourself, do you want to go to the gym? What kind of movement are you going to do? Because you do need to move. I'm not saying you need to rigorously, do 10 hours of aerobics a week or whatever. But what movement are you going to use? Are you going to run? Are you going to walk? Are you going to swim? Are you going to do the workouts at the gym? Are you going to do aerobics? You decide. Write it down. What are you going to do? For me, it's bike riding because I don't have a car. I've been riding my bike to work every day. And it's exhausting. I sweat. It's tiring. It's not fun. But I've been moving and losing, so it's been worth it. Are you going to record your macros? Are you going to write down how much protein you're eating, how much carbs you're eating, or how many carbs you're eating, or how much fat you're eating? I didn't. I'm paying more attention to that now because I'm trying to stay below 200 and get to my goal, but you don't have to do that. I'm going to continue this on the next video. It ended up being a little longer than I thought because I had lived and talk in between, but I don't want to make these super long to where you get bored. So stay tuned for the next part of intermittent fasting with Delusion Dispeller. Thanks. See you soon.